First, a big day in the perjury trial for Tim Mapes, the former chief of staff to former House Speaker Mike Madigan.
Prosecutors played much of his grand jury testimony, and that is the heart of their case against him. The Mapes trial is a preview to Madigan's own trial coming up in April, and political reporter Ahern is joining us live from the Dirksen Federal Building downtown. Marianne.
Good afternoon to the both of you. Yes, after more than 30 years at Mike Madigan's side, Tim Mapes was pushed out in the midst of the Me Too movement with allegations of sexual harassment and bullying against Mapes. But that firing did not stop the feds from charging him with perjury and obstruction of justice. Tim Mapes, who held 3 different positions with the General Assembly and the Democratic Party of Illinois, all tied to Mike Madigan, was offered an immunity agreement before he testified before the grand jury. But the feds say Mapes lied. And today, prosecutors focused on his statements in wiretapped phone calls and his grand jury testimony. Mapes was pushed out after allegations of bullying and sexual harassment. Yet in a wiretap phone call to Madigan's close friend Mike McLean, Mapes told McLean that he held on to key information. Quote, "I have it on a thumb drive. I carry it with me all the time." The two also discussed their concern for Madigan's health as the Me Too controversy was shaking up Springfield. Mapes said, quote, "I'd almost suggest he go to the doctor every month. A lot of stress." Prosecutors also played 90 minutes of Mapes' grand jury testimony. He is asked about being interviewed by the FBI. Mapes says it wasn't an interview, but rather a meeting. He then wrote a memo about the meeting and shared it with Madigan's criminal defense attorney. Mapes says the FBI, quote, "were reaching out to me to be wired up against some members of the General Assembly." But that's not what the FBI testified to earlier this week. The defense says the prosecutors have cherry-picked statements out of more than 650 questions Mapes faced during stressful conditions, and because of his age, his memory was fuzzy. If convicted, Mapes could end up with 25 years in prison. So we are in week 2 of this trial, expected to last at least 3 weeks. And as this trial is going on today in Springfield, the Democrats are gathering for their Governor's Day. That would have been an event years ago that Mapes, not that many years ago, that Mapes would have organized. Reporting live from outside the Dirksen Federal Building, Ahern, NBC5 News.
Interesting perspective. All right, thank you, Marianne.